Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Louis Sports Network. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday. Third straight video in the building. Like the video, comment, share, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Definitely appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. Hope you guys are had a great weekend of football. And so we're gonna get straight into it. All right, so let's talk about what happened this weekend. If you look at the games, you have obviously we're going to start off with the Bills and the Broncos. That game saw Bo Nix injure his ankle in overtime in a game that they won by a field goal by the score of 33-30 in overtime. And the Broncos are moving on to the AFC Championship. Right? Now, I already know. Listen, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes is my favorite quarterback. Number two, Josh Allen. Here's my problem with Josh Allen. I give Josh Allen credit for taking accountability for the 4 turnovers that he had in that game. But 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen did not play great. He didn't play great. Not in my opinion, he didn't. And then you had that fumble at the end of the half against the Broncos, which was a momentum killer. So there's that too. Josh Allen now in his 7th year in the league now? He's 0-7 in trying to reach the Super Bowl. He's been to the AFC Championship twice. And my issue with Josh Allen is that I feel like the bigger the stage, they want to talk about how he has better numbers than Lamar Jackson and all that, and I understand that, but Lamar Jackson fanboys also need to stop because Lamar Jackson has been trash in his postseason career too. So please miss me with Lamar doesn't have this. Oh, I get it. Lamar doesn't have the weapons. I understand that. Okay. But Lamar Jackson, to me, has this tendency to play tight in big games. And I've noticed that in the last couple of games, it's always about he'll make 1 or 2 big throws and it'll be like, oh, he's the reason that we were in the game. But then it's just like, if you take away those big plays, it's like he really played below average. And this is a 2-time MVP we're talking about. And I think, wasn't he unanimous in one of these years? I don't remember which one, but okay. But Josh Allen doesn't get a pass neither. Like, you've underperformed when the lights are on bright and you're a playoff choker. Lamar's a playoff choker and Josh Allen is a playoff choker. So please, Lamar fanboys, stop. Josh Allen fanboys, stop. You are both playoff chokers. MVP win, and mind you, Joe Burrow does not have an MVP. He's often injury prone, but he's done something that neither one of you 2 quarterbacks have done, and that's get to the Super Bowl. And I know what they're going to say. Well, Joe Burrow had the beneficiary of playing with elite receivers in Higgins and in Chase and the Bengals defense. So he's really not that top tier of a quarterback. Everybody's got their opinions of QBs, but it's like when I watch Josh Allen play in the regular season, it's always, oh my God, look, Josh Allen, look at him. He's carrying his team. They make it seem like these quarterbacks play both offense and defense. It kills me. Now, I get it. The Ravens defense really had been trash pretty much all season. The Bills defense, their problem is their run defense was absolute garbage. They really couldn't stop the run all year, which is why, like I said, they need edge rushers to be able to attack off the edge when you have runs on the outside, because that's what was killing the Bills pretty much all season. Like, their pass defense is real good, but it's like they're prone to big plays because of their inability to stop the run on play action. So there's that problem. And Josh Allen was last year, he's the reigning MVP. But the MVP turns the ball over in a big game. It turns the ball over multiple times in a big game. Josh Allen, I like him. I like the fact that he took responsibility. What I don't like are these Josh Allen fanboys defending him, saying it's not his fault. The referees and the wide receivers are not catching the ball. No. Josh Allen took responsibility, and the media just needs to call him out on it. We got to stop treating him like he's the media darling, and he's above criticism from other quarterbacks. No, 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 no. If Lamar's going to get criticized, and he deserves to get criticized, I'm so sick and tired of people playing the race card with Lamar. He's a running back playing quarterback. I'm sorry. You may not like what I have to say, but it's like I've noticed that with Lamar. It's like he has the ability to throw. Lamar Jackson's got the talent, but for some reason, it's like he'll just stay in the pocket and hold the ball and not use his legs because he's afraid he's going to get hurt. That's why I said that Lamar, he's sort of kind of reminded me like Chris Paul a bit. Like he gets tight, and then it's almost as like he's afraid to get hurt. And then he tries to pretty much collapse. He pretty much stays in the pocket and then tries to be a pocket passer. And again, I do blame a bit of that on the play calling when it comes to Lamar Jackson. But again, if with Lamar, I just want you to be aggressive, man. You don't see a throw, run. Don't just stand in the pocket and try to expose yourself to get sacked. And it's like he runs east to west instead of trying to run north south. Because Lamar's that talented. But we got to stop with the whole that quarterbacks are carrying and then they're absolved from the blame. Lamar Jackson gets blamed and he deserves it, but Josh Allen does deserve it too. Because think about it with Josh. No Lamar Jackson. He got knocked off before making the playoffs for the division title to the Steelers. There's no Joe Burrow. His team didn't even make the playoffs. They were eliminated. And then you got Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs were eliminated from playoff contention because they had a bad year. So you were the best quarterback remaining in the playoffs, and you still couldn't get the job done. So like I said before, Josh Allen took responsibility. He took accountability. And he said he felt he let his teammates down, and you did let your teammates down. But at the same time, these Josh Allen fanboys, oh no, it's the referees. Oh no, it's with the call. Because then they're going to say you don't know football. Josh Allen does not deserve a pass. Yeah, he didn't play well, and Sean McDermott got suffered for it. He got fired. So my thing is that his two tight ends have an inability to stay healthy. They're made of glass. They don't have a number one receiver. James Cook is really good, but it's like they really do need some receivers so that when they stop them, it's amazing to me. I got to give the Bills somewhat of a credit, not having really that many weapons, and they're still able to put up points. Like they put up 30 points. You're winning most games putting up 30, but your defense gave up 33. But it doesn't help that the offense has put the defense in some misplaced positions. 2 fumbles and 2 picks. 4 turnovers by Josh Allen. That falls on the quarterback. And the Bills lose a tough one, and Denver moves on. Denver's defense really wasn't that great. But they did what they had to do. And Denver's a really good defense. It's just they've tailed off the last couple of weeks. It wasn't that stout defense that I have been seeing for most of the season. They've tailed off a bit. And I got to see what they do against the Patriots in the title game. So that's going to be interesting. And I think the Patriots are on the road, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but if I am, one of you guys can correct me. But I think they're going to be in Mile High because I think Denver had home field throughout the entire AFC. So I think they're hosting the AFC Championship game against the Pats. Okay. So Josh Allen's got to own it, and people got to stop making excuses for him. So there's that. Now, let's go to Seattle and San Francisco. I'm going to be very short and very brief with this. The 49ers have a lot of injuries on their team. But don't be trying to do some kind of pregame and trying to act all cocky, and then you only put up 6 points against the Seattle Seahawks. You lost by 35 points. I get that I get it. Your team is dismantled, but don't be trying to get cocky, and you only put up 6 points. That's an unfortunate end to the 49ers season because the 49ers would be really formidable if they had most of their first of all, most of their players on defense, because they got a lot of injuries on defense. And then you're missing Ayuk. You lost Kittle with the Achilles injury. It's a lot to overcome. McCaffrey that's just not going to be enough. Even though what's his name? Was it Jake Tongs? He actually did solid in Kittle's absence, but still it's not enough. So the 49ers also, they need the team to get healthy, and I feel like they could use another wide receiver, in my opinion. And they got to get healthy on defense. But anyway, they lost badly, 41-6, and Seattle is moving on to host a title game against the Rams. Now let's go to the Rams and the Bears. Actually, no. Before that, let's go to who played first. Oh, the Texans and the Patriots. Drake May did what Drake May was supposed to do. He has the opportunity to win the MVP this year. I think it's probably going to go to Matthew Stafford, but I'm not mad if Drake May wins the MVP this year. But C.J. Stroud, overrated. He was being called a superstar in his rookie year, and yet he's regressed the last 2 seasons after that. And this man has 7 turnovers in the last 2 games. He didn't even look good against the Steelers. You have a championship-type defense, and you could tell that he just did not have any confidence. Mentally, he checked out. And quite honestly, he injured 2 of his receivers with the poor throws he made. Just the throws he was throwing behind receivers all game. I get the receivers were dropping some passes, but his throws were not good. C.J. Stroud was absolute trash. I don't care how better in the second half he was. He was absolute trash. Just absolutely horrible. And now D'Amico Ryan has lost 3 straight times in the divisional with C.J. Stroud as your quarterback. And now you got to ask your question, is C.J. Stroud going to be the quarterback for your future? I know some people are not ready to give up on him. I don't think he is their quarterback. If your quarterback is somebody who loses confidence and is somebody who struggles when the lights are on bright, when you need a big game, so you struggle in big games, he's not your quarterback. But quarterbacks are not easy to find, and I think that you give CJ one more chance next year, and if not, then you're gonna have to change quarterback, in my opinion. Like I said, that Texans defense is elite. But if your offense is struggling to score, and I get it, they lost Nico Collins and they lost Dalton Schultz. Again, those are 2 big weapons that's hurting. But you at the very least have got to show leadership. Like, you may have guys down, but it's like, yo, next man up. Find a way. But it's like, no, you lost your confidence. And just the throw. Some people were trying to make excuses. Oh, well, CJ, he might have hurt his arm, so it might have affected his throwing. No, the way he was backpedaling and the way he was just throwing the ball, it just made absolute no sense. It looked clear that he was throwing away the game with the throws he was making. He threw 4 interceptions last night. 4 interceptions yesterday. That performance was abysmal. Abysmal. I'm sorry, but there's no way you can play like that and then expect to get an excuse. There's no excuse for that. Absolute no excuse. I don't think C.J. Stroud is the quarterback for the Texans. I know some people were clowning and they're like, well, is Deshaun Watson available? I'm like, damn. It's funny because that Texans team was not that good defensively, but they went to the AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs. And that was with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. And Deshaun Watson, to me, is more talented than C.J. Stroud. And to me, it was a better QB than C.J. Stroud. It's just Deshaun Watson, he tailed off after what happened to him, and y'all already know what that is, so I'm not even going to get into that. But, yeah, that was a horrible performance by C.J. Stroud. The defense did its best to keep in the game. Shout out to Drake May and the Patriots. They capitalized on, like I said, Keyshawn Boutte, really nice catch in the end zone with the one-on-one matchup on the outside. Really great throw by Drake May, great catch. You had the one with Stephon Diggs as well. That was a really nice one. And then he also threw the touchdown pass to Douglas. So he had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But CJ was awful. There's no excuse for that. He clearly lost his confidence. And I don't think he's the quarterback for the team. Just terrible throws. Like I said, 2 of his throws caused his receivers to get injured just because of the way he underthrew them, and he was throwing behind them. And then when they ran their route, but the ball really didn't finish with their route, and they ended up getting hurt. And CJ honestly really just played worse as the game got along. He had some good throws in the second half, but he was awful pretty much most of this game. So, and then, ladies and gentlemen, the final, the nightcap. We had the Rams and the Bears. Shout out to Sean McVay and shout out to the Rams. They came prepared in cold weather in Chicago with the wind chill, with the feeling of like 7 degrees with 19-degree weather. They came in and they did it. They beat the Bears in overtime, 20-17. Here's my problem with the Bears. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. I know people are blaming DJ Moore on the route running when he was supposed to run a flat and didn't finish his route, and Caleb ended up throwing the ball. Some people felt that DJ stopped, and that's why that interception happened in overtime, and then which eventually set up the game-winning field goal for the Rams. And Matthew Stafford making the throws that he made to put the Rams in the position to win. But Caleb is a gunslinger, and you can see, and to me, for the Bears, it's easy to say that they're going to have a bright future. The defense played its heart out. The Bears' defense played a phenomenal game. Caleb, though, I like the fact that he has no fear, but he has to be a bit smarter when it comes to his throws. He was trying to make plays that clearly weren't there, and it cost his team. It cost him. First of all, he made a bad throw in the very first drive of the game that ended up being an interception, nowhere near the receiver. And obviously the last pass he threw, where DJ Moore didn't finish the route, and give the Rams defense credit because they were spying on Caleb that entire play. And shout out to the corner making the hell of a play. So you got to give the Rams defense credit. And obviously people are going to talk about that fourth down play to Cole Kmet in the end zone. It was a hell of a play, don't get me wrong. Throwing off his back foot, running against a 4-man rush, and he was still able to throw off his back foot, backpedaling to get that touchdown to Cole Kmet. Unbelievable play. And it should have been the play that we would have been talking about had the Bears won. But I question Ben Johnson because he was a bit too aggressive. And to me, the Bears had a bit of an ego to where, they had 7 come from behind wins this year. They came from behind 21-3 against the Packers last week. And to me, that was a bit egotistical because you just can't keep playing like that against better teams and then expect to have the same result. The Rams are a better team than the Packers. They really are. The Rams are good defensively too. So like I said, I give Sean McVay and the coaching staff a lot of credit for preparing the players to play in this cold weather. And again, shout out to the Rams defense. Their linemen against the run on third and short and fourth down situations, constantly stopping them. Ben Johnson should have kicked more field goals. But like I said, look what happened. They had the momentum when Caleb threw that pass, but instead of going for two, he went for the extra point. It was almost like because of his third and fourth downs were failing, he felt like I shouldn't take a chance because what if they don't score, then the game is over. When Rex Ryan and people from Get Up were saying that you should have made the call and should have been aggressive. But like I said, I felt like Caleb, he had a bit of an ego, and it cost him. And Ben Johnson, his play calling was, again, not the best. And what he was known for all year, like I said, he's the Dan Campbell, he's the second Dan Campbell of the NFC from the same division, mind you. Crazy. NFC North. But yeah. And unfortunately, the Bears season ended. But the defense really played its heart out. They did their job to win the game. I just feel like a couple of Caleb mistakes. Again, receivers were dropping passes too, of course, but I think those two glaring interceptions, the first and the last one. But also, people were saying, man, they should have ran the football. But the problem was DJ Moore was not really able to run the football. The Rams did a good job of really, they really stopped the run. They were not really able to run the football. So, but it is what it is. So Caleb, young quarterback. I think that the Bears have their future quarterback. It's just Caleb has got to be smarter and not let his ego get the best of him, thinking that he can make every single throw on every single play. Because you're going to cost your team and put your defense in a bad position if you're not smarter with the football. Now, again, we make mistakes and we're not perfect. But again, if you're consistently putting your team in a position like that, that's not good. But yeah. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Final Four. I will be doing a preview of both the AFC and NFC championship games. Let me know what you guys think about the divisional playoffs. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section as I do the AFC and NFC championship previews, and then to see who goes on to the Super Bowl in Levi Stadium in California for Super Bowl 60. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section, as always, for this weekend. Bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching.